Be it unto you. What is it you believe, my friends? Where is your faith and how far is it from your fear? And which one is greater? Is it that your fear causing you not to step out on faith? Because you're fearful of this and you're fearful of that, and what if this happened, and if you should step out on faith and this happened, then what are you going to do? And what if you step out on faith and say you're going to trust God and you find yourself and your back is against the wall and you find yourself in a negative situation? My friends, if you're saying that, thinking that, it is just that you have not known God, or you have not known the power of God, and then you do not know that God said in his holy written word, those that put their trust in him will never be ashamed. That means he will fight your battle and give you the victory, and you'll come out victoriously if you only take a step of faith and believe God. And believe him. And believe him. Whatever your fear is, my friends, master it and conquer it. Whatever it is, whatever the difficulties are, master them and conquer them, and put your hope and put your faith and put your trust in the true and living God, and know within your heart of hearts is a miracle working God. And then now separate yourself from selfishness. Separate yourself from guile and tricks and trickery. Separate yourself and put yourself in a position where you can receive the blessing from the Lord. The blessing from the Lord is a position, my friends. You have to put yourself in that position. And in order to be in that position, remember, when he called David and sent the prophet Samuel to Jesse's house, David's father name is Jesse, and Jesse have other sons. And as Samuel looked upon the sons, he said, this surely must be the Lord's chosen. God said, I have not chosen him. Then go to the next one and say, surely this is going to have to be this one. He looks so much like it would be the one. God said, I have not chosen him, and so forth and so on, straight down the line, till when David come, God said, this is the one that I have chosen. And he tells Samuel, I do not look as men look. Men look on the outside, but God looks on the heart. Stop looking on the outside. See the heart. Get your heart right with God. If you're still in guile, and if you're still in trickery, and if you're still in dishonesty, and if you're still in taking advantage of others, and if you're still doing those things, your heart is still not right with God yet. You need to be able to get your heart right with God in order for you to benefit from the blessing of the Lord. If you don't get your heart right with God in that sense, you will sabotage your own success. You don't mean to, but you will. You don't want to, but you will. You don't know that you are, but you will. You understand? Because that's what selfishness do. That's what self-centeredness do. That's what being a con artist, to think that you are clever and that you're getting over on someone. You're just basically sabotaging yourself. Because once you function in that capacity, the blessing of the Lord is withheld from your life. You will make certain progress because in every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, and by taking the right action you may get the right result. But nevertheless, the real blessing that really comes from an eye, that really cause a person to prosper, will not visit your habitation, because your heart is not right with God in the way that it should be right with him. And do remember, God cannot bless that which is wrong. So, you're going to have to get your heart right with God first. See? Do the right thing, no matter what. And then you're qualified for what we are talking about. So now, as we look into God's call for Abraham's life, in the next verse, it said in verse 4, after God tell him, in blessing I will bless you, I will bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you. Right? In verse 3, let me just read it again. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord has spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. 75 years. 75 years when he stepped out to obey God. 75. How old are you, my friends? Have you stepped out to obey the Lord yet? Did you do what he tell you to do? Are you doing the assignment he has given unto you? If not, when you planning to do it? When are you going to obey God? Why are you delaying your own future? The Bible said, do not let another man take your crown. It's a sad story, situation, when someone else received what you're supposed to have. Because they did what you were supposed to do. See, I remember this lady. She was a pastor's wife. And she said to her congregation that God tell her that you are not my first choice. And remember, this is not any ordinary woman. God blessed her and her husband beyond their wildest imagination. And yet still God said to her, you wasn't my first choice. I chose you due to the fact that the person that I called did not answer the call. So she always talk about that she's not God's first choice. I don't know nothing about that. But that's her testimony. That's what she said. You see? The young lady shared that with me and said, my pastor said she's not God's first choice. Because it wasn't she that was supposed to be in that position, but the person who God called never answered the call. So God called her and put her in it. So that's why I said then, do not let another man take your crown. And I know those things can happen. Because I remember when I was Bible school, Brother Aga and tell us about this pastor man that planned to bless this worship leader. And he said he planned to buy the worship leader a house. And just as he was about to buy the house for the man, the worship leader leave the church and went to another church and he missed his blessing. Why? Because he never knew the intention of the pastor. If he did know, he would have stayed. That's why the Bible said, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. And lean not on your own understanding. God is working out your life. Let him work it out. Don't walk away because you believe that things should have been different. Be patient. I want you to know, my friends, if you're going to walk by faith and live by faith according to the word of God, because the just shall live by faith, we walk by faith and not by sight, then therefore now you're going to have to know that you're going to have to practice patience, because patience is the twin of faith. It is a power twin of faith. The scripture said, by faith and patience, you will be able to inherit the promise or the blessing. It said, you have need of patience, that when you have done the will of God, you may inherit the blessing. So what if you're not patient and you walk away? What if you walk away? Walk away before the time. People walk away from their marriage. Wife walk away from the husband. Husband walk away from the wife. People walk away from their pastors. Walking away from their church. Walking away from their ministry. And the very ministry that they walk away from is the very ministry that they desire, but they just could not wait a little bit to move into it. So therefore they take themselves out of the situation where God was just ready to promote them and bring them into that thing that they desire so long, but because they walk away from it, they walk away from their inheritance because they never know God's plan. That's why you must be patient. You have need of patience, that when you have done the will of God, you may inherit the blessing. You understand that mean? If you are not patient, you will forfeit the blessing and you will not inherit it. And you'll struggle when you never have to struggle. And you'll get downhearted, and you may live all your life and do not fulfill what you were created to do because you wasn't willing to stay the course and be patient in certain things. You understand? I know one woman keep telling me, no woman run from good. I was sharing something with a young lady this evening. And she look on the wall and she point at this picture and say, Pastor, what happened to these children? And I said, well, the wife and the husband have some disagreement and them like one gone east and one gone west, so therefore them stopped coming to church because they wasn't in agreement anymore. And she said, well, I must something him do. I said, why? Why you have to go there? Why it have to be something that he do? And really and truly, that wasn't the case. But when you hear certain things, you're quick to point finger to say, it must be something he do. No woman run from good. That's what one lady said to me over and over. I said, the Bible said Jesus went to this place and preached the gospel and healed the sick and relieve the oppressed, and the people come out and tell him, we don't want you in our town, we want you to leave. Wasn't they running from good? The Lord only did good to them, but yet still they did not want him there. You understand? It is not that every man is evil that causes marriage never to work. But there's an evil spirit named Satan. There's an evil spirit named Satan that don't believe in marriages, that fight it. You see? Don't forget that part. It's not that every young lady or every young man just hate life and just want to die who have committed suicide. But there's an evil spirit nagging them, telling them, it better you kill yourself. And those individuals do not know that these vices are vices of demons. They think it is their thoughts. See? So there is deception, my friend, in the earth, and these people that is walking away from their situation. It's not just that they are purely evil or wicked, but they have been deceived by a deceiver. And a veil is upon their eyes. See? And so Satan is working against union and unity and oneness and one accord. Not just in marriages alone, but in the general setting of the family, where sisters and brothers don't speak to each other, sisters and sisters don't speak to each other, mother and daughter don't have a loving, nice relationship, and vice versa, my friends. Satan is in the segregation and separation business, because united we are stronger. United we stand, and divided we fall. So if him can get the man and the woman to be divided, if him can get the brothers and the sisters to be divided, if he can get the family to be divided, then he will win over them. But when them stand together, one arm, one heart, one faith, one destiny, one determination, working together in unity, then no demon can come in and bring a separation. And then, my friends, they will find success. Then they will find peace. Then they will find a harmony. Then they will find a joy. Then the love will spread. Then the